Hi there, I'm Julian from PCGamesN, and this is Matt.
Hi there.
We're here to talk about The Division 2. So, Matt, what exactly just been announced?
So Massive have just done a live stream where they've announced that The Division 2 is a real thing and they've been working on it for a while now. Actually, they started work just about the month after The Division 1 came out. So we're talking kind of back in April, sort of 2016 kind of time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They have announced that there is a game called The Division 2 and that it's going to be revealed for the first time properly to us at E3 this year.
Okay, so they really gave nothing away about The Division 2 at all?
Nothing at all. We don't know where it's going to be set, what time it's going to be set, whether it has any complete direct links to the original game, whether it's even going to be the same genre. We really don't know anything about it. But obviously, I mean, we know how kind of Ubisoft operate. They're quite an iterative company that like to kind of build on previous successes. So we can think about things that we already know about the previous game and what this means for this one.
And they even said during the stream that all of the original studios which took part in The Division 1 are now working on The Division 2, and that they could work with the learnings they had made from that first game. So it seems to be that they'll probably be largely in the same genre, but yes, as you say, iterative and moving on.
Absolutely. They've already confirmed that, so many of you may already know that the game was built on the Snowdrop engine, which was kind of, it was really hyped for that game because it produced this beautiful version of New York City. They've made so many leaps with Snowdrop, which is one of the reasons why they want to make a sequel rather than, I mean, they could have done like what Destiny did with the Taken King and produce a expansion that rapidly changed kind of what that game meant. No, it is a sequel because they know that they can tell better stories, as they say, and show better things with this new version of Snowdrop.
We sort of have a blank slate here as to what it could be. Like, personally, I really enjoyed The Division 1. I really liked New York, but I would like to see them take it to a new place. Like, European cities would be cool. It'd be great to see London with getting the same virus-stricken treatment. But at the same time, I'd also quite like to see it maybe go to Asia, like Shanghai or Hong Kong. Yeah,
so this was something that I thought. Basically, if you played through the story of The Division, you will know that towards the end of that game, there is a suggestion that the whole idea of the green poison was to spread it across the globe. It was a case of they were eco-terrorists essentially wanted to reduce Earth's population to protect the planet. So yeah, that means that yes, whilst we stopped it at New York, or it suggested was in that game that it might have spread elsewhere, I'd personally love to go to Tokyo. Kind of Tom Clancy tends to be quite American-centric, especially in the more recent games, but kind of in the past, we know in the books, always tend to go globe-trotting with, you know, corporations like Rainbow going all over the world. So yeah, I'd love to see a place that's got a completely different vibe to America, but on the same time it seems it's very likely with the audience that The Division has that we could be going somewhere like Boston or San Francisco or Los Angeles, Washington. Any of these kind of key American places seem up for grabs, really.
Okay, so does this now mean that Ubisoft are leaving The Division 1 behind? Because it just had that big 1.8 update.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've got stuff to come with The Division, and presumably this will lead into The Division 2. And they may well cap it there in the expectation that the player base will then migrate. But the key thing to remember is it's easy for us, especially people like the guys watching at home, if you're constantly keeping up with the cycle of games, you might have forgotten that The Division even exists. You know, it was something from 2016. It didn't do as well as I think people were expecting. You know, it kind of like how Destiny died off on console after a few years. But actually, the Division has 20 million players. We're talking more than the population of Sweden here. There's a huge audience for it there, and they are serving those guys. So if you do play the Division, don't worry. There's 2 updates, I believe, that are coming to the game.
Yeah, so they've got 1.8.1, which they're nicknaming Strawberry. I don't know whether that will actually stick. But that's due to come out in April, and that's the one which has, well, it's first bringing 2 legendary sets of missions to Grand Central Station and Amherst.
Okay.
But also it's going to be a graphical overhaul. At least that's been confirmed for the Xbox One X version.
Right.
Hopefully we'll see that also translate to PC.
That would make sense, right? You know, we already know that our machines are better than an Xbox One X, so I would hope for that. But yeah, seeing that city in 4K, I mean, just as a taster as to what is to come with The Division 2, I can sort of already see myself reinstalling The Division and, you know, having a crack in preparation for this.
Absolutely. And then in June, they've also said there's going to be the 1.8.2, potentially called Parsnip. That update is due then. They said there's going to be more legendary missions again, but they wouldn't say where those were going to take place. The contents of that update are being a little bit more quietly kept to the chest.
So very similar to kind of what we know about the Division 2. It's all been held close, but if you play the Division, you're a big fan, you're not being forgotten, you're not just being jettisoned just for the fact that this sequel is in production. And yeah, it's really exciting, I think, for anybody that's into kind of the Tom Clancy stuff, that they're going ahead with the Division. You know, this huge idea they had, you know, way back pre-2013 when we first saw the amazing trailer with the car door and everything. You know, it's blooming, and hopefully, you know, as Watch Dogs 2 was a huge improvement over Watch Dogs, hopefully the Division 2 is like what we all hoped that that original project could be.
Well, that's everything we know so far. Like and subscribe so you can keep up to date on any new news that we get over the coming months. If you head over to PCGamesN.com, you can find a guide that we already have of everything we know about the Division 2, and then also everything we hope to be learning about soon. Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.